If colleagues can stick to about 7 minutes, that would be equal for everyone, which Greg Smith, I'm sure, will lead the way on.
I will do my best, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you. And can I start by congratulating my right honourable friend for East Antrim for not only securing this debate, but the incredible, powerful and eloquent way that he has opened it, a speech that I entirely endorse. Indeed, Madam Deputy Speaker, I serve alongside my right honourable friend and the noble Baroness Kramer in the other place as co-chairman of the all-party parliamentary group on the loan charge and taxpayer fairness. And it is through that lens and the very many constituents who have come to me who are victims of the loan charge that has led me to be profoundly troubled by what I can only describe as one of the most significant crises faced by British taxpayers, certainly in my living memory. The loan charge has and is still haunting thousands of our constituents across the whole country, bringing with it a train of despair and destruction that should weigh heavily upon HMRC and indeed all of us in this House. To date, there have been an estimated 60,000 people affected by the loan charge. And tragically, as has already been referenced in this debate, 10 of those people have come to the tragic conclusion of ending their own lives. I invite the House to reflect upon a policy of HMRC that has led to 10 people in this country. I pray no more who have ended their own lives because of it, because of a retrospective tax policy. Those are not numbers on a page, Madam Deputy Speaker. They are human tragedies, each one a poignant reminder of the injustices felt by individuals still grappling with the devastating consequences of the sorts of amounts of money that my right honourable friend referenced being asked of them in cases more than they ever actually earned in the first place. The profound impact of the loan charge extends its reach far beyond mere statistics, financial repercussions. It is a devastating narrative that encompasses contractors, freelancers, agency workers from all walks of life, professionals seeking compliance under IR35 legislation. They took and followed professional guidance in good faith.
The honourable member for giving way. On the point of the taking advice and being led by agencies and promoters, does the honourable member agree with me that it is simply scandalous that none of these agencies have been pursued by HMRC for their part in this? And does he also agree that that further heightens the injustice felt by those who are being pursued?
That intervention, I think that is a point that we can have consensus on. It is outrageous that the promoters have not been pursued. It is a point that the all-party parliamentary group has considered and looked at and taken evidence on, and it's certainly something I will continue to push in this debate and for the weeks and months and years ahead in trying to get justice for all the victims of the loan charge and to hold those that gave that advice, who knew what they were doing, I suggest, to bring them to account.
And for my honourable member for securing this debate, would he agree with me that there should never be an instance where protecting the coffers of the state should take precedence over protecting the lives of our constituents?
My honourable friend makes an incredibly powerful point. I agree with him entirely. And part of the ask of this debate, part of the ask of the all-party parliamentary group on the loan charge and taxpayer fairness is to get to a fair settlement, a settlement that people can actually afford to pay, a settlement that takes into account, dare I say it, reality, that understands what people actually earn, that understands that they acted in good faith, that they took the professional advice that I was talking about a few moments ago. I will give away one more time.
Very generous. And is that not the case, that what we really need is proper transparency
of government bodies and how they operate, because that's really what is undermining the trust in government at all of so many people if they see this again and again. We need transparency.
The Honourable Lady, I'm grateful for her intervention. I agree with that of course we need transparency. We need transparency across all walks of life, government or otherwise. I think to bring it back to the reference my honourable friend for East Antrim made about the Horizon scandal in the Post Office, the clear similarity here, though, that I think there does need to be an inquiry and there does need to be serious action taken on, is how you can have bodies, in the case of the Horizon scandal, the Post Office, in the case of the loan charge scandal, HMRC, where a body of the state is autonomous in being judge, jury and executioner at the same time. That is something that we simply have to take away. And there have to be the checks and balances built into HMRC if we are to see justice for the loan charge victims, as well as any other crisis, any other scandal that might well come about in the future. Madam Deputy Speaker, I am mindful of the time limit you have set, and there is much more that I could say on this subject. What I want to see, and what I urge my honourable friend, the Minister, whose letter yesterday offering a meeting with the all-party parliamentary group I am incredibly grateful for, and I hope we can get that meeting in the diary as soon as is humanly possible so we can have this meaningful dialogue on how we get to a settlement, on how we get a review into HMRC practices, how we get justice for the loan charge victims, because I suspect from seeing some of the colleagues, certainly on this side of the House, bobbing as well, we are going to get many more powerful stories and testimony from victims of the loan charge, whose lives we should see as totally valuable and totally deserving of our attention and justice going into the future.
I give way.
I'm grateful to my honourable friend for giving way, and his powers of forensic analysis are second to none. But would you agree with me that it's actually slightly worse than that? He's entirely right in what he says, but there are also cases, particularly for those affected by the loan charge, who have allowed themselves, against their better instincts and judgment, to make a false confession, if you like, of guilt, gone through the process, ended up having to pay an extortionate amount of money, thinking it was settled, and then HMRC have come back and then gone after even more.
Yes, I mean, I'm afraid, I mean, he's right. I'm afraid one of the characteristics of miscarriages of justice, and somebody raised it, I've forgotten who raised it earlier, so forgive me for not giving you reference, is that the victim at the beginning is probably the most unpopular person in society. They're thought to be guilty. They may even doubt themselves whether they've made a mistake. You know, these people, by and large, have been compelled to do what we're talking about. They've been offered a job on these terms only, right? So they had no choice. But then, of course, later I think, well, maybe I should have known. You know, and then then they're persuaded by the people dealing with them, as the postmasters were told, you're the only one. You know, and all these people will feel the same. Until our campaign started, they all felt the same. You're the only one. You're one of a few nasty tax evaders, not avoiders, tax evaders, and so they give in. And of course, confession is like the Gestapo. Confession never saves you. You know, confession's a step to execution. And so that's how it works, I'm afraid.